It's Sarah from Sarah Yoga here. As you can see, I'm all hot and sweaty and a bit of a mess, but I had a little thought and decided that would be quite nice to do a little video to show you exactly the kind of stretches that I do after a run on my yoga mat. So if you're interested to find out more or want to join me, roll out your mat and I will meet you there. I tend to come into downward facing dog a lot first, so come and join me. Get into it in any way feels good, and start to connect the finger pads to the mat. Draw the backs of the upper arms together so you feel your shoulder blades connect, and then from there push the hips up and back, and then one by one walk the heels down. And as you walk the heels down, I try and really stretch through my inner leg as much as possible by really lengthening from the inner heel all the way up to the inner groin. So you're getting your inner hamstrings as well as the main ones. I'm going to stay here for about another 5 more breaths. And I just find this just helps me to slow down a little bit and catch my breath. And then I'm going to plant the right heel down, keep the left heel lifted, and just stay here for a moment, just breathing in to the calf muscle, the Achilles, getting a stretch in the hamstring. And then I'm going to swap. And then I'm going to see if I can get both heels down now. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just keep either pedaling out or just hold the position you're in. And imagine you're breathing the inner and outer heels down towards the floor. Okay, lovely. And then from there, I'm going to walk the left heel in a bit and inhale the right leg up high, bend the knee and start to open up the hip. Now drop the right shoulder down while you're doing so it doesn't go with you, and then I'm just going to roll out the right ankle and then roll it out the other way. And then inhale the legs straight, and then I'm going to step it to the outside of my right hand, coming into a lizard pose, but with the knee lifted to begin with. So I'm going to just rock forwards and backwards and lift up the back of that, the back leg, thigh, so I can really feel a stretch there. And I'm going to drop the knee and walk the foot in, coming into a low lunge and Dandasana. So I'm going to curl the butt cheeks and bring myself up. Take a moment to level out your hips, and then keep connecting with your glutes. Squeeze the inner thighs together and then push your hips forward. And then you should feel a really nice stretch for the front of your hip. What I find also nice to do while I'm here is a few side stretches, maybe a twist. So you can inhale the left arm up and then exhale, just take it over, stretching out through the side body. And then inhale up, and then to take it into a twist, bring your hands into prayer, take an exhale, use your abdominals to turn, you keep scissoring the inner thighs in, and then hook left elbow around the right knee. And with every exhale, really get rid of the air and think about pulling the left rib cage towards your inner right thigh. Okay, lovely. Bring your hands to the floor and then pull back the right hip, straighten in the right leg for another hamstring stretch. Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Okay, and then curl the back toes under, step back into downward facing dog, and then we're going to do all that to the other side. So step the right leg in slightly and then reach up the left leg, bend the knee, drop the left shoulder as you open the hip, taking the knee up towards the ceiling, and then 4 ankle circles in one direction, or many as you want, and then 4 or more in the other. You know, just see how it feels. You might want to wriggle your toes a bit, flex and point. And then we're going to inhale that leg straight and step it to the outside of the left hand, coming into that high lizard lunge, really reaching back through that inner and outer heel of the back leg. You want to get it as straight as possible. I quite like to move around, but you can stay still. Alright, drop the knee. Heel toe that left foot in a little bit. And again, connect to your glutes before you come up. And then push the hips forward whilst you're squeezing the inner thighs in. That way you get a better stretch. I know this looks amazing and pretty, but it's actually not doing a lot for the front of your hip flexors. So you want to keep that connection with the glutes, and then you'll get a much better stretch, I promise you, a much better release. And you can curl the back toes under or release them. It's up to you, it's whatever feels good. And then take an inhale. Let's take a side stretch to the other side. 5 breaths here. Okay, and then bring the hands into prayer. Take an inhale, and then exhale. Turn, turn, turn. Use your abdominals, and then hook. Inhale, and then with every exhale, we've got 3 here, we're going to pull the right rib cage towards that left inner thigh. Okay, hands to the floor, straighten the front leg, pull the left hip back, Ardha Hanumanasana on this side. And you're just trying to reach the chest forward, and then as you exhale, pull that hip back and maybe soften into it a little bit more. 2 more times. Inhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Super job, guys. And then from there, walk the feet back. Bring the inner ankles together and your big toes together as much as you can. Curl as many of the toes under as you can. And we're going to sit back just for a stretch for the underneath of your feet, for the soles of your feet. Always a good thing to do. And I'm going to try and stay here for a minute. It's not the most pleasant stretch for me, but I try and include it because I know it's good for me. So the key thing is to breathe. So maybe count up to 5 breaths and then count from 5 breaths back to 1. I find that really helps pass the time. Try and keep squeezing the inner ankles together. That way you'll get a really good stretch underneath the mound of the big toe, especially. Oh, it's nice. We're about halfway there, so well done if you're still with me. Two more breaths. Okay, lovely. Come forward. Give it a little tap. And then we're going to come to a seat for Baddha Konasana. So a little stretch for your inner legs. So I like to place the hands behind me and then walk my sit bones towards my feet. Try not to do it the other way round. And then you can stay here and just press the feet together and squeeze the glutes to open up through your inner thighs, or you can hold the feet or the ankles, whatever feels good. The more you kind of squeeze the outer glutes, the more you're going to be able to stretch the inner legs. If you want more, you can also open your feet like a book. That can help increase the stretch in your groin. And if you want even more, you can come into a little forward fold. I've got about 10 breaths here. Halfway. Alright, well done. And then just bring the feet on the floor and just rock it from side to side. And in fact, you can use this as a little kind of hip mobility exercise. So you're just rocking from side to side. If you want to really go for it, you can rock and then push yourself up and then come down. Ooh. And push yourself up. Ooh. You may find you move around a bit with this one. We'll do one more set, but you can do as many as you like. Okay, and then one more little stretch just to ease out any tightness and just to find a little posture reset. Come into Dandasana. So straighten out your legs, roll the inner legs down, plant the hands on the floor, and we're just going to press the hands down, draw the front ribs down, pull the back of the throat to the back of the neck. Imagine you're squeezing something under each armpit. Just feel how the chest opens out. And you can stay here or even come to a reverse table or a reverse plank. So do whatever feels good. So that one or this one. I'm going to stick with this one today. And come down, and that's it. So that's just one way that I like to, use a bit of yoga to stretch after a run. So I hope it's given you some ideas, so you can kind of do your own routine, and I'll try and put some more up as well, for those of you who do like to go out for a run. But in the meantime, thanks for joining me. Please hit the like and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time on the mat.